All right, all right. Well, let's go along. I think we're moving on to our retro talk. Cool, yes. So we're done with our modern review stuff. Thankfully, we knocked it out in like half an hour. So this is Buried Alive, pay-per-view. So we've been covering the WWF since SummerSlam in 1996. So that we have a playlist of our series that we've been doing called WWF Post SummerSlam 1996. So we've reviewed every single show since then, which was concurrently the same shows that we've been reviewing on WCW. So we had another series called WCW After Hogan Turned to the Dark Side. And we've been doing this whole period from July to October in 1996. So I want to catch up to where we were in WCW. That's my plan. So in the next couple weeks, we will be caught up to where we were in our WCW series. And then from there, we will start a new series for specifically the Monday Night Wars. So this series will be done in a couple weeks, just so you know. So we're going to do Buried Alive tonight. We've been headed in this direction for quite some time. For about a month, I think, we've been doing the build-up to this. The very first Buried Alive match. It's incredible when you think about it. I mean, isn't it? Someone's going to be buried alive. Like, is there? You guys have any thoughts about this? Just, I know it's funny to think about now. Like, it just seems normal. But weren't there people back then, especially like kids and some older adults, who were thinking, like, is someone actually going to get buried alive here? Like, how the fuck is this going to work? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts about that before we delve into this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what I thought of it as a kid. I just thought wrestling was crazy, so I just probably went with it. You know, I don't know. I mean, how old was I in '96? 8, 9? I don't know. So I probably was just like thinking, like, okay, this is wild, but wrestling is kind of crazy like this, and why not? So I don't know. I didn't think, like, no, there's no way this could not happen. I mean, we've seen The Undertaker specifically be burned alive in a casket or whatever. So why couldn't he be buried? I said to myself probably as a kid, like, yeah, sure, he got buried. But he's alive, no problem. Like, you know, he'll be fine. Buried alive, burned in a casket, it's all the same.
Robert, any thoughts about the general premise of a Buried Alive match for the first time? This is the first one.
At that time, honestly, everything that I was watching in wrestling would mesmerize me at that point, because I forgot how old I was, but like I was just mesmerized by all everything that happened, and then this was a first for me to see something a match like this take place. So I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. That's all I can remember from that time.
All right, so I'm going to play you guys some clips from, not from the pay-per-view, but from Livewire first, which was the day before, where they're talking about this match. So Sonny and Todd Pettingill are the hosts of this show, and I have a review of this episode of Livewire if anyone's interested. I actually watched the whole thing. But in my 7th storyline, the Buried Alive match is coming up, and they actually start talking about what it might entail. So here's a clip for you guys. I'm going to play. Hold on, let me take this picture of Okada off. The Continental Champion. Here's a clip from WWF Livewire, guys.
There's Paul Bearer. I don't like him.
Oh, this match is unbelievable. Think about this. All those truckloads of dirt.
Tons and tons of dirt will be carted into the Market Square Arena. They're going to build a grave right there in the middle of the arena, and someone's going to get buried 6 feet under.
You know what? They're doing it right now. They're doing it right now.
Yes,
that tombstone we've been showing you with the faces of Mankind and The Undertaker is being put right at the head of that gravestone. That will mark the spot. Imagine. Put yourself in the position of one of these WWF superstars. You're laying there, and you're being covered with dirt. This is a non-sanctioned matchup. If you miss it tomorrow night on pay-per-view...
It's non-sanctioned. Okay, so this is going to be a big running theme in my preview of this, that they're going to keep pounding that in our head. This is non-sanctioned, which is something we hear in modern wrestling a lot. Lights out match. You know, the company doesn't take responsibility. But I don't know if this is like an early example of this. in wrestling. But let me play another clip from
The way the phones used to look back in the day.
the 90s phones.
Yeah, well, they're actually taking calls here. So here's a phone caller calling about the Buried Alive match, saying, what the fuck is this gonna, what is actually gonna happen here?
Start. Back to the phones we go. Let's talk to Sean in Michigan. You were on Livewire.
Hey, Todd, how you doing?
Good, man. What's happening?
Hi,
I just
John.
want to know how they could have this match between Undertaker and Mankind. I mean, someone could seriously get injured, and I think the WWF should award the winner of this match a chance at the title shot.
Well, let me tell you, the reason we're going to have this matchup is because both these guys wanted it. It is a non-sanctioned matchup here in the World Wrestling Federation. That means the WWF is only providing the time. They're not taking any responsibility at all for what's going to happen here. We're going to talk a whole lot.
That's such bullshit. Providing the time, not taking they're providing the ring, they're recording it, yet they're not taking responsibility for what.
They're even providing the dirt. They're even providing the dirt and the shovel. But hey, if somebody dies, we're not involved.
All right, one more clip from Livewire. To really pound it home to the people, hey, that someone's going to fucking die here,
It's
I guess.
a non-sanctioned matchup
Right.
from the World Wrestling
The
Federation.
World Wrestling Federation does not want to be responsible for this match. They don't want to be responsible for anything that happens between The Undertaker and Mankind.
Think about being buried alive.
Wow.
Imagine laying there in that hole 6 feet under,
Jesus,
dirt
Todd.
falling down all over your face.
He's actually selling this match, man. We got to sell some pay-per-views.
So it's unsanctioned. You guys don't want any part of it. So I have this cool shirt.
What's up with Paul Bearer's face being on the moon? What the?
What that is actually.
Oh my god, this is awesome. That's a great shirt. That might be that should be our thumbnail, basically, for this for this podcast we're doing today. All right, let me see if there's anything more of this.
The Undertaker has got to be thinking about the betrayal of Paul Bearer, Mankind. I don't know what runs through his mind.
Think of the weight of the dirt on your chest, and you're gasping for air, and you can't breathe.
The amazing thing that the only person who can help you, the only person who can save you, is the person who put you in that hole to begin with, and you know neither Mankind or The Undertaker is going to help the other one once they're in that hole.
No, I don't think so. You want to take a call, Todd?
Let's do that.
All right. So that's Livewire. Interesting stuff. Very rare gem footage, I would say. Let me jump to a clip now from WWF Superstars. So this is going to be Jim Ross also criticizing Vince McMahon for not taking responsibility for this match, for it being a non-sanctioned match. So here's good old JR. This is during Superstars, the morning of the match, and it's Razor Ramon, quote unquote, who was having a match. But let's listen to JR talk about this.
Well, I'll tell you something, my heart is beating faster and faster thinking about tonight's pay-per-view matchup. You know, when I asked McMahon, man-to-man, face-to-face, why he shirked his responsibility and didn't sanction. Oh, my! Wait a minute! Inside cradle! Almost a 3 count there by the pugnacious Bob Holly. So what about McMahon now? What are you talking about? Well, you know, it's non-sanctioned the Buried Alive match. Hey, we don't want anything to do with it. We'll take the money, but we don't want any responsibility. All the way slam. That is vintage Razor.
So Jim Ross, who's in the middle of a feud with Vince McMahon here, as we'll discuss in a little bit, as he's had issues with his boss. So he makes light that, hey, Vince is making money off this, but he doesn't want to be responsible or sanction the match, right? So that was kind of cool. I thought that was like kind of realistic commentary there. So let me see. While I'm looking for my next clip, if anyone wants to comment on any of these clips I'm playing, please feel free to jump in, because I know you guys didn't see these, so this is brand new to you. No comments.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's as realistic as you say, because there's no way anybody would be able to. If you have a problem like with anything that's going on like this, you wouldn't be able to go on air and just say it. You would probably say it in the back or whatever. But I mean, as part of this angle with Jim Ross kind of being a heel, It's all right. I mean, who really wants to? I don't know. Whoever wanted to boo Jim Ross, it's a weird thing, to be honest. But okay.
All right, the next clip I got is from the Free For All Pre Show.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so this is the right before the show is about to go on the air. They had a show on USA called Free For All, which is like their 0 hour, I guess.
I remember.
Yeah, so what's his name? Undertaker cuts a promo literally like a minute before you have to buy the pay-per-view. So they're trying to sell pay-per-views till the last freaking second. So the lights start going out in the arena and the Undertaker's voice comes out over the loudspeaker.
Mankind has done a good sign. All sorts of phenomenal things going on.
Creatures of the night. Are you ready? Tonight, you will witness the end of mankind. I will take his battered carcass and plant it in that cemetery that lays there before you, and I will cover him until he is no more. And then the feast shall begin. Creatures, are you ready?
Indeed,
The
we are.
hounds of hell are now baying for your soul, mankind. The end is at hand. I'm coming for you, mankind. I'm coming. You will never rest in peace.
Only on pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen, and only.
There you go. What a way to sell a pay-per-view, huh? Right before it goes on the air. That's awesome. That's the best you could do, I think. All right. Let's see. Before I jump to the pay-per-view, any comments on the pre-show?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, obviously, yeah. I mean, where are you finding this stuff? Somebody's actually recorded this as part of the pay-per-view as well, or how are you even getting this?
I found all these clips on YouTube, like just randomly. Yeah, I just.
Oh, this is a YouTube clip. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I mean,
You guys enjoying any of these rare clips or what? Is this interesting to you? I feel like you guys as historians have got to think this is kind of cool stuff. But
yeah, no, I did think that was cool. I did think that was pretty
That
cool.
one was, yeah.
okay, interesting. All right. So now let's jump to the match. We're Buried Alive finally. So here's our Buried Alive review, our blog post, which all three of us watched the show again today. So it was the first ever Buried Alive match, and I am going to not go over it in detail. You know, I'm sure this is actually on Peacock, so you guys can watch this whole thing if you want to watch it. We're just doing a review here. But, I do want to play the beginning of the show. So, let's see. The opening was Vince McMahon is on commentary with Jim Ross and King, which we'll talk about the significance of who's on commentary in the next storyline with Jim Ross. But for this one, I'll just play some of Vince McMahon talking up this match coming up.
An extraordinary event to take place right here live. Someone is literally going to be buried alive, King. I'm telling you, McMahon, I wouldn't want to be in it. I wouldn't want to even be involved in it, but I can't wait to see it. Mankind or The Undertaker? This is it tonight. When I have the dirt on the face.
I wouldn't want to be in it. I wouldn't want to be involved in it, but I can't wait to see what happens. Oh, my God. King Lawler. Okay, so as soon as the show starts, they're tripping about it. So Vlad said in his review this was a one-match show, right?
Yeah.
That everything else was bullshit, which is funky because it wasn't much of the build in the 4 weeks leading up to this in the Raws. They were just like a couple minutes each was devoted to this match. So it was just based on word of mouth on the fact that it's going to be a Buried Alive match. They're like, buy the show, buy the pay-per-view. This is going to be a Buried Alive match. You got to see it. All right.
Well, it's also called Buried Alive, in your house, Buried Alive. I mean, it's centered around this whole thing.
All right, so let's see some slides and some highlights, I guess, of what happened. There's Mankind, there's The Undertaker, there's the fog, and the match starts. Starts off hot. Well-worked match, I guess. Any comments on the work, if you guys want to give?
I thought it was good.
Heck yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These two guys are, as far as workers, they're great.
Uh-huh.
Great. Yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, these guys are really good. They're great wrestlers.
Yes.
Here's The Undertaker flying off the top rope. Let's see, what other images we got? Well, they tease, okay, so they go over to the cemetery place. They tease going over there like a couple times before they actually get to the end of the match. So they went over there, then they fought back to the ring, right? Then here's The Undertaker jumping over the guardrail in his young athletic days.
That's a great point. He was so athletic at this point.
Mm.
Really athletic big guy. Here's Paul Bearer whacking The Undertaker with the urn, so he gets involved. He officially tries to help Mankind, at least he tries. But let's see, steel chair. Oh, all right, so there's some steel chair stuff from back.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Punch, just a regular punch, man. I mean, if I could just highlight the selling of a punch, like how simple. Just sell, bro. Like, people don't sell these days. They just don't move their freaking head back. These guys were great at it. All right, so let's see. This is where it finally gets to the point. This is the third time they're back up to the gravesite, and Undertaker's the first guy to go in. Oh, the crowd's going crazy, right? So he's the first guy actually to get in there, and Mankind starts dropping dirt on him. All right, so he's got a shovel. That's really hard. To fucking shovel that much dirt, it's gonna take forever. So
yeah,
he was gonna go by himself too. He's like, that was the first attempt. Now they're both in the grave. Kind of funky to be fighting inside your own grave. It's a good idea. Cool imagery here. Nice metaphor. Oh, okay, so I'm wrong. This is the second time. That was the second tease. Then they go back to the ring. All right, so now they're in the ring again. They keep going back and forth. Interesting. All right. They're gonna go a third time back to the ring. All right, this is another chair shot. Whacked him pretty good, The Undertaker there to Mankind's back. Even Paul Bearer's face was like, oh my god, the humanity. This was a crazy spot. The Undertaker into the steel steps has Mankind over his back backwards, and I don't know. I thought that was kind of like an extra spot. They've already done so many crazy things. They're having a buried alive match. They didn't need to smash each other into the steel steps, but okay. They're going above and beyond today. It's the main event. They're selling pay-per-views here, right? Tombstone pile driver. All right, I think. Oh, this part kind of impressed me was how the Undertaker actually fucking walked all the way to the back with big ass Mankind over his shoulder. How the fuck did he do that? Strong dude.
Yeah, you have to be really strong.
Choke slam into the grave. So, interesting spot here. Here's King with the obvious question: are we really gonna do this? We're not really gonna bury someone alive, are we? So yeah, King has to be the guy to bring up the literal question, like, are we fucking killing someone here? Even so, what happens is, okay, so here's the semantics of it. Interesting stuff. So the ref, enough dirt has been dropped on him that the ref calls for the bell. It's over, right? You won, Undertaker. All right, you win the buried alive match. And the Undertaker's like, no, fuck this guy. I'm gonna kill him. So he flings the referee away and continues dropping dirt on him, right? So this is where everything goes crazy. And as he's going to kill Mankind, a shovel comes out of the blue and whacks the Undertaker. It's a guy in a mask who literally digs Mankind out. I saw an interview of Mankind today talking about how it felt to be buried under all that dirt, by the way. So this guy comes in, this random ass guy. I guess we'll get your thoughts on the booking of what the fuck they did here. But this guy, he looks like an executioner. That does end up being his name, the Executioner. So he saves Mankind, and then they put Undertaker in there, and they start shoveling dirt on him, and the lights go out. So I assume this is where they switched Undertaker out or something, right? I don't know, but
Probably.
I don't know exactly how they did this. I was trying to figure it out today, but I didn't get any inside scoop on like what the trick was. I assume they just turned out the lights and yanked him out of there and put like a dummy in there or something. So then everyone comes out. So a bunch of wrestlers start pouring out into the ring, or not to the ring, into the gravesite. And some of Bradshaw, for some reason, who hasn't been involved in this at all. Goldust, who has been involved in it. I guess he has had a feud with Undertaker. Triple H, no involvement from Triple H in this whatsoever. They probably just needed a bunch of guys to drop because it was a lot to shovel.
Correct.
So one fan threw a drink. Here's just so you know, there was one guy standing up for the Undertaker saying, "This is wrong. This is wrong." He threw a drink at them. And sorry, Vlad, did I interrupt you? Were you going to say something, a comment on any of this?
Yeah, just there was a whole bunch of heels, I guess, that just decided to gather up and try to kill the Undertaker.
Yeah, they all don't like the Undertaker. So, I mean, it is interesting though, because I think Bradshaw does have a feud with the Undertaker at some point. Does have involvement with him. Actually, he's aligned with them, and then he feuds with them later on.
Oh, you mean down the line? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Down the line, yeah. Triple H too, obviously. So all these people do have some kind of. Looking back on it, it's kind of interesting historically that these people were involved in this the way they were. And then so they completely bury him. For anyone just listening to this, there's just a mound of dirt there. And they did the job. The job is done. So Paul Bearer is like happy, and they all walk off. And I guess they cut to the back where they introduced the Executioner. And funny thing Mankind said, he said he's like an angel on my shoulder. I don't know if you guys caught it.
I don't remember seeing this in the show, but okay.
This wasn't on the Peacock copy.
Yeah, this wasn't on the Peacock show.
Oh, yeah? All right, I'll play this.
I don't know. Yeah.
Let's see. It's a pretty good promo from Mankind afterwards. Let's see.
Oh.
All right, watch along for a little clip here.
Undertaker. Don't bury me alive! I don't
Fucker
want
tried to bury me alive.
I don't want maggots eating up my lip! But he tried to kill me, Uncle Paul! Oh, alright! So before I go on, it worked! Please, Uncle Paul, I gotta know. Tell me I'm not to blame. It's not your fault! It's not your fault! He's gone! And now, I'd like to present to you our man in red and black, the Executioner! Oh, yes! The Executioner! You just saw him at the graveside! And now, here he is! Oh, he's like an angel on my shoulder. Looking out for me.
There he is. Terry Gordy. I've heard the name. I've heard the name. I've heard Jim Cornette mention it on his podcast many times. But okay. All right. Ratings. Let's see. Oh wait, there's one thing I didn't show. I forgot. My bad. One last thing. It's the Undertaker at the end. The lightning came down, right? Did you guys see this part? Was this part?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. This was
definitely part of it.
Okay, what the heck? So the lightning comes up and the Undertaker's hand raises through the floor, so he's not dead, which is pretty awesome. That's the most awesome thing ever.
And Vince McMahon going crazy as the show ends.
Yes. All right, now we can do our ratings for this match. I went in detail. For the rest of the show, I won't go that much in detail, but of course, my mind was blown that someone got buried alive and they still lived. So 10 points for me. 1 point from you guys. Thumbs up from you guys. All right, you guys like this. Okay, my mind blown rating is a little tongue in cheek, obviously, as a retrospect. Maybe at the time, my mind could have been blown from this if I seen it live, but I think it was well done. I think it was pretty wild idea. It's pretty great wrestling, man. This is pretty legendary. So, all right, comments. Let's go with Vlad first. Thumbs up.
Well, there's been a lot of amazing ideas based on the Undertaker character that they could do because of his whole, character. Buried Alive matches, casket matches, boiler room brawls. I'm trying to think. There's been so many different things that he's had to do with the gimmick and with the character. This was just one of the many crazy ideas that they came up with. And I thought this was cool. I thought this was a good match. And the idea was unique, and how they did everything, and the ending sequence is definitely engraved in my mind with this whole arm kind of sticking out and the thunderbolt or whatever the hell that was. As a kid, I was probably going crazy. I was, loving it, But in retrospect, I can't say I loved it, but I definitely enjoyed it. And that's why I gave it a thumbs up. So cool stuff for sure.
All right, Robert, let's see what you think all these years later. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, same thing as a kid. I love this. Looking back at it now, it's like, I mean, it was still good. Though one thing I didn't like was, that one scene where everybody came in and started, pouring dirt on top of Undertaker until it was pretty much at the top. That part for me kind of dragged a little bit. It went a little long, but the rest of it was good. I liked it.
All right, cool. Buried Alive. Interesting. All right, so that goes down into the Malapert Smark Podcast history books of something that we've reviewed in depth. Cool. All right, so let me go through the rest of the card. I also got a couple of cool clips to play for you guys from the weekend before this match as well. But the other thing I want to review slightly in depth, I'll play a couple clips, is the JR stuff. So Jim Ross, this drama of Jim Ross stems from the whole Diesel and Razor Ramon thing. And Jim Ross has been rebellious. He brought in a fake Razor, a fake Diesel, and he's been, on the outs with Gorilla Monsoon, the president. So that's the drama that started there. So we've been covering that storyline, the fake Diesel, fake Razor storyline, and this stems from this. So I'll put a link to that playlist in the description that we've been covering the whole thing. But I want to start today on Livewire, again, Vlad, because they announced on there that Jim Ross has been taken off commentary. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but they made the announcement on the Livewire show. So this is where I found out for the first time. I don't know where exactly they announced it for the first time, but I found out from Todd Pettingill. So here's how it sounded again. Back to Livewire.
Tomorrow morning on Sunday Morning Superstars, you will hear from Jim Ross for the very first time. He'll tell you how he feels about being replaced on Raw by Vince McMahon. Vince is back on Raw, and Jim Ross is none too happy about it. You are watching live.
All right, so they announced it on Raw, which is not tonight's show, not the Buried Alive show, but tomorrow, the day after, Jim Ross is not supposed to be on commentary. So we do get comments from JR on the Superstars show. So on the morning of, here's a comment from Jim Ross talking about complaining about Vince again during the Razor Ramon match. So hold on one second, guys.
So electric tomorrow night, but I'm sure that Vince McMahon will be the one that'll do the interview instead of me, the one that's bringing Bret Hart back to the WWF.
Then you bet I won't be any talking. I'll be all action, Ross, when it comes to Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I can't wait to be sitting right there at ringside calling your match. I know the hold. McMahon hasn't learned a new hold in 25 years. Oh, what a move. Oh, my.
I mean, Jim Ross, when I was in the ring wrestling, you never did the color commentary for one of my...
All right. Sorry, as my dog is barking up a storm. But Laura, relax. All right. So there's JR lamenting that Vince McMahon is going to take his spot as lead commentator, and he's not going to stand for it. He says he's going to be there anyways, right? So when the pay-per-view starts, JR is on commentary, but all this is hanging over him, right? So that's why there's all this tension about it. as the show starts, and it's a major angle throughout the pay-per-view. So I'll start playing a clip from the show opening, which we watched a second ago when Vince and King were talking up the Buried Alive match. So right when they cut to Jim Ross, his microphone's not working. And that sets off a storyline that goes off through the whole night where his mic isn't working. So let's play a little bit of this. Listen to it.
Hey, Mike, come on, have a mic. You guys got mics? I don't have a mic. What's the word, Mike? A number of things have already happened in the free-for-all, ladies and gentlemen. Got a mic here. Take this mic. Well, I got a lot to say. As a matter of fact, we're ready to go.
So this happens throughout the show continuously, where for some reason Jim Ross's microphone just doesn't work. It keeps cutting out. Here's another example.
Are you going to see the pedigree? Is my mic working now or not? I can hear you. I can certainly hear you. And what about the fact again?
Here's another one. I'm skipping around. I'm only going to play a couple of these. There was like a handful of them.
I can't work here if my damn mic. Hey, please. We are having some audio difficulty with Mr. Ross's microphone. How come you?
So this is during Stone Cold's match coming up again. So it surely seems like the production crew is fucking with JR because the microphone always works, right?
Wait a minute. Now, are we working with McMahon or just... Nothing wrong with his microphone at all.
What do you think about this, Vlad? Are they making this seem like they're screwing with him or what?
Yeah, that's what I took from it. There's only his microphone didn't work. Lawler's and McMahon's worked just fine. So if there was an issue with the microphones, it would have been across the board.
Is anybody?
So, yeah,
damn it!
That's what I took.
I can't work. Let's play attention. Arm drag takedown. Stone Cold Steve Austin asserting.
All right, so JR gets increasingly frustrated as the night goes on, and let's see.
Hey, you know, Jim, you might want to contact Clarence Mason because there may be some kind of lawsuit involving this deal with you tonight. I'm beginning to agree with you. I think there's something fishy going on with your headset. Oh, there's something fishy going on. You being the technical advisor and all of that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Owen Hart, along with...
So Vince McMahon, there's the first snide comment he makes at Jim Ross. So he is in on this. So this is literally the first angle that we've covered that Vince McMahon is involved in. So he's involved in this angle now. He is fucking with Jim Ross. So
That's
Vince
true.
McMahon has officially entered the Malapert Smark Podcast lore as we are reviewing a Vince McMahon storyline here. Okay, so here's where it comes to a head, and I think Jim Ross is going to get frustrated after the third match of the night and head to the ring and cut a promo on Vince.
Wait a minute. Sitting over here trying to do the very best job I can. Let's go back up to JR, who's in the ring. What is this? And McMahon he's got his butt kissers to turn my microphone off so I can't be heard on television. This guy right here. I'm not going to bore you or go into this story again of how he fired me twice and tried to ruin my life. I'm not going to go into that. But I am going to tell you one thing. That tomorrow night on Raw, thanks to good old JR, I'll guarantee you, I promise you, that Bret Hart is going to be live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I promise you that. He's taking credit to bringing Bret Hart back to make an announcement. Because he's coming back because you want him to come back. You didn't go to South Africa to talk to him. I went to South Africa. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? That's a yes or no for you. You were in South Africa, JR. Yes, you were. The issue is this. Tomorrow night, Bret Hart has got a lot to say. He said he was going to come back with a shovel because he's going to bury some people. Bret Hart has got a lot to say to you fans. He's got a lot to say to maybe Vince McMahon. And he's got some more things, I think, for the World Wrestling Federation champion. Bottom line, Bret Hart will be uncensored tomorrow night. Now, seeing as though the egotistical maniac who owns this company has screwed up the microphones, and he talks out of both sides of his mouth anyway, you need two microphones. You take this one. I'll see you tomorrow night on Raw. Good catch, Vince. Here, King.
There you go. So there's an arrogant look on Vince McMahon's face. He's not upset at all that Jim Ross left. So this is the story. Actually, was there one more thing that happened later on in the show? I think Jim Ross was in the back where there was an interview being conducted, and JR crashed. He crashed the interview
with Psycho Sid.
With Psycho Sid, he crashed the interview, and he wanted to check if the microphone worked.
Thank you, Sid. Go ahead, Doc. Good job.
Thanks, Doc. No problem with the microphone then. No problem at all. And as a matter of fact,
Yeah, so Jim Ross went to that interview. He's like, you see, so your microphone works. So it's only my microphone that wasn't working. All the other microphones are working. All right, so that's our storyline today. So the Jim Ross storyline, it's going to come to a head tomorrow, I guess, when he's going to show up for work when he's not supposed to be there. I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know what happened. But for this angle today, let's see what our ratings were for this. Thumbs up from me and Robert. All right, we thought this was good. We both liked it. Vlad with the half thumbs up, I guess. Kind of liked it. Not a very high rating, but something positive for him. Let's start with Robert on this one. Thumbs up. What do you think of JR's storyline today?
That's good. I do think this was 100% a work because if it wasn't, Vince McMahon would have shown a lot more actual, anger and frustration. So he this was all planned out, but it was executed well.
That shows that he's in on it.
Yeah, he's in on it for sure. But it was all executed well, so I enjoyed it.
Okay, all right, Vlad. A little harsher review for you. Let's see what you think.
I mean, it was all right. I'm not harsh. It just was what it was. It was cool, but I bought Jim Ross's anger, but I didn't buy Vince McMahon kind of being nonchalant the whole time. As one of his employees is just giving him the business, telling him that he's a piece of shit, basically. A piece of shit boss that's fired him twice before. I don't really think that would.
Yeah, you don't buy that as his way of trying to fuck with JR to get back at him.
Well, yeah, I mean that would be his way, but would he even, if he was really pissed off, he wouldn't even let him broadcast at all, right? Just to say Jim Ross is no longer broadcasting, on Raw or any pay-per-view or whatever, But it was cool. I mean, another thing is, like I said, I don't want to boo Jim Ross. I don't want to hate Jim Ross. So this whole Jim Ross turn heel thing has always been a weird thing for me. So, but this was okay. This was all right.
Okay. Moving along then. My third one, this one I kind of like this one. I want to play you some cool clips I found from this one also. And then after this, we'll probably fly through the rest of the show. So Stone Cold versus Triple H. This was supposed to be Stone Cold versus Savio Vega. Right. Savio Vega got injured, I guess, somehow. And Mr. Perfect is involved in this, as I'll explain. But before I talk about this, I want to play some clips again off of this Livewire. This Livewire, I think, was the best episode of Livewire to me. So Stone Cold shows up on Livewire, and he storms in as they are discussing that they're going to have him on the show. Well, first of all, they had a great video package really talking him up on this show. But they said they were going to have him on later in the show, and he storms in. He's like, I don't want to come on later. I want to come on now. So here's how it went.
No excuse. You have to join us on pay-per-view for In Your House.
That's right.
Still to come here, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Later on the broadcast, we'll talk from him, get his point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's been something I've been wanting to talk to you about since...
You're not waiting until later on the program to get my ass on TV. Because you bring me up here, you sit me back here in the green room like some jabroni and show half of a match. Let me tell you what happened, because you know what happened. After I got hit with the flipper, clotheslined over the top rope, I took my carcass off the floor, got back in the ring, whipped the hell out of Shawn Michaels, and then beat Psycho Sid's ass, and you're not going to show that.
No, we're going to talk about that.
Stone Cold says after the show went off the air, he kicked everyone's ass.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Better than me, son, and don't you butt in, honey.
Sorry?
Because the bottom line is, you're not going to come in here and bring Stone Cold in and treat me like a jerk.
No, I
beat the hell out of both guys. Let's set the record straight.
All right, I just wanted to build your appearance throughout the show.
Yeah, you ain't got to build Stone Cold, brother.
Bring you on later.
Right.
Well, there's a camera to tell the people how you feel.
Shut up. Hey, I think everybody knows how I feel. I've been shortchanged for 7 years, and I'm fixing to start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program. Well, God, my time is shut up. My time has come, and that's the bottom line. Do whatever you want to do.
All right, we're going to take a break. Obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin is here. We will talk to him, and you can too with your faxes and phone calls as Livewire rolls up.
Right.
All right, so I want to listen to Bret. Well, as we've been discussing on this show, he's been running down Bret Hart. So he's going to comment on Bret here, and I think he's going to take a couple of phone calls. So Stone Cold Steve Austin taking some phone calls here with some very interesting questions come up. So I want to play this clip too.
Jumped on his neck, and they carried him out after that, and that's exactly what's going to happen to anybody else I get in the ring with.
Well, let's talk about the hitman Bret Hart, because you've made no secret how you feel about the legendary Bret Hart.
All right, because he's going to sit there and say, I'm the best there is, I'm the best there was, I'm the best there ever will be, I'm the excellence of execution. Man, I ain't got to invent a bunch of dumb slogans to try to convince myself I'm great. I think everybody out there in TV land turns on the TV, sees Stone Cold, and says, damn right, he's the best there is.
Well, let me ask you, Stone Cold, do you think this Monday Live on Raw, Bret Hart is going to announce his retirement? Or do you think he's coming back to the World Wrestling Federation? Will he be a goodwill ambassador? What do you think Bret Hart's going to do?
Well, if he announces his retirement, he's a very smart man. If he says he's coming back, then I'll retire him. The end result is going to be that Bret comes back, it's going to be for a very short time, and it might as well be as a goodwill ambassador because he ain't got what it takes when it comes time to getting in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, Stone Cold, I hate to interrupt you here, but you seem like you have a lot of anger built up inside concerning Bret Hart, but I haven't heard Bret Hart say one word about you. It seems like you don't even cross his mind.
Oh, let me just tell you a little inside story. Bret heard me talking on the pay-per-views. He heard me talking on the TV. He sent me a plane ticket, first class, to fly to Calgary. We went down to the basement, the famous Stu Hart basement, and I whipped his ass for 30 minutes. Put the sharpshooter on it for 10 minutes.
He says he whipped.
I love that. This is a gem of a clip.
Wait, you didn't hear the rest of it. You started laughing. Not only did he whip Bret Hart's ass, he whipped Stu Hart's ass too. Listen. listen.
For 30 minutes. Put the sharpshooter on him for 10 minutes. Then Stu came down. Steve, let go of Bret. So I beat Stu's ass. That's why he don't say nothing about me, because I already got his number. You know, Bret, you know that I'm better than you. But if you want to do it in front of the world, I'll be happy to oblige you, because Stone Cold is the best there is, and ain't no one here can tell me any different.
Obviously, we should just point out we can't confirm what you said about Bret.
Well, that's the truth. You're calling me a liar, son?
No, not at all. I just want to take a phone call here. Eva from Mass.
Todd Bettingill's like, that can't be true. But all right, phone calls. Listen to these phone calls. These are some really cool questions.
Massachusetts, you're on Livewire.
Hi, I have a question for Stone Cold.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, first of all, Stone Cold, I really like your style, the no-nonsense approach to wrestling. I think you could go far, except for one thing. I mean, what's with the swearing all the time? I think it kind of indicates a lack of creativity, a lack of imagination, and I think it'll hinder you in your future here in the WWF.
I think if you keep talking to me like that, and if you're in person here, I might hinder your life.
He's lucky she's on the
bottom line is I say shut up. I say whatever I want, when I want, how I want. As far as you liking my style, I've been around for 7 long years. All of a sudden, someone put the microphone in front of my face, and everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon. You're all a bunch of mosquitoes, and from now on, that's what I'll refer to you as, mosquitoes, and you're all trying to get on the arm of Steve Austin and suck the blood out because I'm red hot.
This guy's amazing. It's amazing that. Well, I just want to pause. Yeah, pause it real quick. It's amazing that WCW let this guy go, because obviously he's an amazing talent. A. B. Vince McMahon put him in some of the worst gimmick you could possibly put him in. And C. They're finally doing something with him here. You could tell now they really are pushing him. Like he's been part of a lot of different things that you could tell that they're invested in the guy, in Steve Austin. So that's cool, and obviously he's tremendous to me. This is a gem. This is gold. This is gold.
Oh yeah. Listen to the next phone call. First of all, the lady said his swearing going to hinder him.
No,
he said if you were here, I would hinder your life. What the hell?
Well, I mean, obviously that ended up being wrong. I mean, the swearing is actually what made him. But okay.
Yeah, she was wrong. Okay, the next call's better.
Because I don't need nobody.
Oh, can I take another call?
Take another phone call. Nick from Massachusetts, you're on with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hi, Stone Cold. I'd like to know why you're so arrogant towards everybody in the WWF and you think you're better than everyone when you've never won a title. Also, what's up with that Stone Cold 316 saying?
I've never won a title because everybody you've got here with a belt is scared to look me in the eyes and say, yeah, Stone Cold, I'll give you a shot. I whipped Merrill's ass every time I got in the ring with him. Now he's Intercontinental Champion. You answer me that question.
Well, Stone Cold...
Shawn Michaels, shut up.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels is the WWF Champion, and he hadn't cared to get in the ring with me either. Why? Because he's scared.
I was just going to point out that you did win the King of the Ring and obviously proved yourself in that matchup.
Yeah.
Right, I have an email here.
Everyone is scared. All right, I'm gonna jump to comments on Mr. Perfect because they replayed his thing. Last week we played him arguing with Mr. Perfect on Superstars. So here's some follow-up comments from Brett on Perfect, which pertains to what we're talking about because Perfect is involved in Stone Cold's match tonight.
Oh, you want to do it, Mr. Perfect, get in the World Wrestling Federation?
Well, it seems Stone Cold is not afraid to talk about anyone there.
Why should I be afraid? Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, whatever you want to call him, is 260 pounds of cholesterol stuffed in a bargain basement suit. At one time, son, you were a hell of a talent. But if you think for one split second that you could stay in the ring with me for more than 5 minutes, you're a lot stupider than I thought you were.
Let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow night at In Your House, Buried Alive. Stone.
All right. They talk about Savio Vega, but I don't want to listen to that because he actually drops out of this match. Bret Hart stuff. One last comment on Bret before we move on to the pay-per-view.
And obviously you feel the same way about the Hitman Bret Hart if he were to come back. But I got to believe if Bret does announce that he's coming back live on Raw this week, it'll be for the fans. He'll want to come back for the fans. Obviously he is well-loved all over the world.
You know, that's the problem with Bret. He always wants to do everything for the fans. That's the thing. He always cares about everybody else. The bottom line is, Stone Cold never gave a rat's ass about anybody, and that's why I'm at the top right now. I don't need friends. I don't need family. I don't need nobody asking me for my autograph. I know what I am. I'm the best there is. And mark my word, if Bret Hart does come back, I'll kick the hell out of him.
Woo.
There you go. There you go. All right. Nice appearance on Livewire from Stone Cold. Cool, cool, cool. Vlad obviously made some comments throughout this. You seem like you enjoyed it. Robert, before I move on to the pay-per-view, do you have any comments on that bonus Livewire clip I played?
I like that segment better than the pay-per-view.
Oh, my God.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Well, on Free For All, on the pre-show, right when the show started, they announced that Savio Vega injured himself. So this is how it sounded. This is kind of looks interesting, too, based on how they used to sell stuff like right before shows on pay-per-view back in the day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Psycho Sid against the man they call Vader, and Jerry the King Lawler, Vince McMahon. We'll talk about feeling sorry for someone. Certainly a lot of individuals feeling sorry, unfortunately, for Savio Vega, who has injured himself training for this matchup that was going to take place right here against Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin, however, here on pay-per-view tonight, goes one-on-one with, get this, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Unbelievable, McMahon. Something's got to give. What are we going to see? The Stone Cold Stunner or the pedigree? I can't wait. It's going to be great. Well, of course, the Intercontinental title.
Man, what a salesman. It's going to be great. Gosh. Okay, looking back on it, Triple H versus Stone Cold sounds great. But back then, that didn't sound great. But okay.
Matchup for grabs as well. And the man they call Farouk.
All right, so that's that. Okay, so that's how they made the announcement. Triple H, you guys, when you saw that was on the card for the show that we were watching today, did you guys get excited for that or what?
No.
Yeah, I was really excited. I threw a party and everything. Obviously, it's nothing to really write home about, for sure.
All right, well, let's go back to Buried Alive in Your House, storyline number 3. This is Triple H filling in for Savio Vega. I got some images. Let's see what I got. Storyline number 3. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys, I'm jumping around to a bunch of clips. Here's Triple H coming out with his escort for the night, I guess. Stone Cold cutting a promo, also talking about Bret. But what's interesting here, I'm not going to play his promo. We played a lot of Stone Cold today. But this was the first time he played the Shattered Glass theme song. You guys notice that when you were listening to this? So his brand new theme song.
Yes, I did notice that.
On this day, Stone Cold. All right, so Stone Cold coming to the ring for a impromptu match against Triple H as Savio Vega. Oh, here's a middle finger from the crowd. Because I don't know if you guys saw that one.
I think I might have missed that one.
It was someone dressed as Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Stone Cold jaw jacking with some little kid in the freaking audience. Hilarious. Hilarious. Well, here's a guy who's a fan. So one guy's clapping there. Okay. Not everyone hates Stone Cold back. That guy's a smart mark. He appreciates it. But, all right. So here's Kurt Hennig again here to steal Triple H's woman. So since Stone Cold is fighting against Triple H, now he's in a way involved with Kurt Hennig, who he had a thing with on Superstars the week before. So Triple H here, pissed off that Kurt Hennig's here to take his woman, and Stone Cold also gets in Mr. Perfect's face. So interesting here to see Stone Cold throw water or a liquid, or first here he begs off Mr. Perfect, and then he throws the liquid in his face, which I guess is something that it seems like Mr. Perfect should want to get him back for. So it seems like this storyline would have continued, but I don't know if we ever get any continuation of Stone Cold and Mr. Perfect here, but very interesting interaction. Mr. Perfect just leaves with the woman, so he lets that go. It's more important here to get the woman, right? Stay focused. So Triple H, who runs after Mr. Perfect, and the woman gets clocked by Stone Cold, and that's going to lead to a series of moves where Stone Cold wins the match with a Stone Cold Stunner, or a middle finger to the face, and then a Stone Cold Stunner. So a win for Stone Cold. Not really clean, there's a lot of distractions here, and definitely a match that we'll see again in the future. So let's see what we got here as ratings for this early Stone Cold Triple H match with Mr. Perfect involvement. So thumbs up from me and Robert. I guess there was something very interesting about this. I definitely thought it was very interesting. Definitely thought the work was good too. I liked the involvement from Mr. Perfect, the interference, the storyline there, and the fact that Stone Cold was involved with Mr. Perfect on Superstars. I thought that gave this a little bit of weight. So I'll start with Robert since you gave it a thumbs up. Stone Cold here. Any comments on Stone Cold? Anything we've seen today from Stone Cold today?
This was the match was great. I thought the work was really good. I think I don't remember when his neck injury happened. I know it happened much later after this. His style is very much like it's kind of similar, but it's different right now than what it is after the neck injury that he suffered from Owen Hart. I think he became much more of a brawler, but I could see the difference in the work. It was really good. I did enjoy it. The only thing is, while I was watching the match, I was distracted by the whole JR Mike situation. So it was like I was watching the match and I was distracted by what was going on between JR and Vince McMahon at the same time, but still liked it.
All right. That's true. All right, so Vlad, indifferent. Nothing from this, looking back on it, that you found worthy to give any points to, huh?
No, not really. I mean, the work was probably all right, but as both of you guys have said, but this was like a match they had to put together because I guess Savio really was injured. I don't really even know the story there. So, yeah, I didn't take anything away from it.
Okay. All right, since it's getting late, I'm going to move on. Let's see. I think we got a few more things to run through, but that's basically everything that I got clips for. I think we'll talk about the Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect and Triple H had more drama later on in the night. The match is going to be Mark Miro against Goldust. So
that's right.
Mark Miro was supposed to face Farouk, but he got injured because Ahmed Johnson attacked him on the pre-show. So we'll cover that after this. But I'll just talk about for a second. I wanted to show a funny clip from Superstars since I've been digging up gems on this day of Goldust was in a match, so I guess he was in 2 matches. So Goldust on Superstars was facing the Pug, and here's a clip of Mr. Perfect on commentary as Goldust does his quote-unquote mind games. You guys know what the mind games
Sure.
Goldust plays, right? So Mr. Perfect is going to comment on that.
There's a curtain call, and Goldust with a very convincing victory here. Look at that cover. What? I think he's whispering something in Alex Porto's ear. You know, there's another one I'd like to slap around Goldust. I don't like what he stands for. Look at this the mind games he plays on people. Maybe you'll get that opportunity sometime. First Helmsley tomorrow night.
So Mr. Perfect is not into Goldust's gimmick. He's like, I don't like this guy. I don't like what he stands for. Is what he said. All right. So this match is going to come about on In Your House. Goldust is in the match, and Mr. Perfect is going to come out on commentary for this. So let me jump back to In Your House Mind Games, storyline number 5 on our review. And Mark Miro is going to cut a promo, and King is going to ask him, what do you think of the replacement, Goldust being the replacement, and King, a heel commentator, is going to interview Mark Miro.
You think Wrestling Federation, but well, Wild Man Sable, what about it? A match made? Hey, wait a minute. Let me ask him a few questions, big man. Hey, Wild Man, huh? We see Farouk got back trouble. I said earlier, I bet you got foot trouble now. Are your feet feeling a little cold now that you know you're going to have to get in the ring with Goldust, huh?
I don't got time for you. My eyes are too focused on the match tonight. It's unfortunate what happened to Farouk, but Goldust will suit my duty.
Hey, let me tell you.
I'm the Intercontinental Champion of the world, and tonight I'm focused on one thing, and that's beating Goldust.
Yeah, because you've never done it before. Every time you've been in the ring with Goldust, you've lost, Mark Miro, and you're fixing to lose again.
You're the chump, buddy.
You're all right. Thank you very much. You're that chump, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on playing that, but I just had to just because I loved it, dude. Mark Miro was like, God, shut up, King. I'm the champ and you're the chump, dude. What are you talking shit for? Anyways. Triple H. So Triple H is here because Mr. Perfect is trying to get involved. He doesn't want Goldust doing shenanigans as he's on commentary, you know, and he's already said he doesn't like him. So Triple H gets in there, who, you know, Mr. Perfect cost him his match earlier in the day. And Goldust takes a punch from Mr. Perfect. So, all right. So Kurt Hennig has been like a mentor to Mark Miro, I guess. So he was there to watch his back. And there you go. So Mark Miro retains the Intercontinental Championship. So all this storyline, let's see, I think I got some reviews from you guys as well. Let me run through that. I was the only guy who gave it anything. I gave it a half thumbs up. You guys gave it nothing. Both of you guys indifferent to this. I don't know. I think I like that Mark Miro promo. I thought that was pretty hilarious. So that was the only part of this that made me giggle at all. So we did mention the Intercontinental Championship match was where Goldust replaced Ahmed Johnson. So again, on the pre-show, not going to show this, but we'll make mention that on the Free For All pre-show that Ahmed Johnson came back and attacked Farouk. So he is not clear to wrestle, Ahmed Johnson is, but he came back and attacked Farouk so they can advance the storyline. So we've been covering this. So for completeness sake, I'll just mention this. And they didn't show it. They did one of them things where the fight already happened. Like the beatdown already happened and the camera showed up late. You know what I mean? I kind of don't like when they do that. I have a pet peeve about that, too. Remember the other day I was talking about people watching matches on the monitor in the back? I also don't like when they show up to the back and someone is already beaten up. You know what I mean? So that's what happened here. Farouk was already beaten up, and Ahmed Johnson did it, so that's why Farouk couldn't participate in that match. Okay, so that's that. Next one. I guess I'll cover... This is another storyline that you guys, I think neither one of you guys gave a positive rating to. The fourth storyline I have here is the Smoking Guns, and particularly Billy Gunn, who has a crush on Sunny, and he has to get the tag titles back to have a chance to have Sunny manage them again because he's in love with her. So this one, I think you guys didn't give, both of you guys 0, and I gave it a half thumbs up. I gave it something just because I think it's funny that Sonny literally, like, straight out tells them, look, I'm not going to want to be with you guys unless you have the championships, right? It's like their commentary of, like, a quote-unquote, like, gold digger woman. If you don't have the money, I'm not going to be with you, right? So she's straight up about it. She's like, yeah, I guess she's watching. She would get back with them if they won the tag titles, but it's kind of bullshit. Why aren't you there, like, helping them? You know what I mean? So anyways, Owen Hart and British Bulldog win that match. Something that Vlad calls filler.
Yeah, I would say so. All of this was pretty much filler.
The last one is Sid. So I guess we might as well cover this because Sid becomes the #1 contender to Shawn Michaels' title, and he's facing Vader, who is managed by Jim Cornette. So I did want to mention this just because of the finish. I like the finish, which Cornette was involved in. So let me show a clip of this. Here's Sid Vicious coming out. Good match, good booking. Vader versus Sid. You really call this filler too, Vlad? Come on. I think you did give this some points, but here's Shawn Michaels coming out, because Shawn Michaels is going to watch this because he's going to face the winner, and Jim Cornette gets in his face. Look how brave Cornette is, Vlad. He doesn't care. He'll stand up to Shawn Michaels. Here's a shot of Cornette managing Sid on this night, and he's going to get involved, so he tries to get through the ropes, right, when he's going to come interfere, and he gets crotched, right? Hold on, I skipped it. So here's Sid coming over. He's going to kick the rope, and he did that well, though. The way he jumped up. Hold on, I'm going to rewind this. So Sid pulls up the rope, and Cornette, whoa! And so there you go. So that did actually buy Vader a second of a distraction. So as the ref is trying to get Cornette out of the ring, who's holding on to his balls, Vader low blows Sid. So that gave Vader a chance, but it didn't really turn the tide enough, as Sid does come out on top with a choke slam. So there you go. So Vlad, Survivor Series, it's going to be Shawn Michaels and Sid. You have any comments on that coming up, or on the match that you just saw, or whatever you want to talk about this?
The match that we just saw was okay. It was a big man match. It was
half a thumbs up from you.
Just okay. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, kind of like both of these guys in a sense, but it's hard to have a really good match with guys that I don't really consider like these amazing workers. They both need other guys to complement them, and this match is hard. It was hard to get really anything good out of Sid versus Vader for me personally. Somebody might have liked it, but it was just all right. They did the best they could with what they had. Survivor Series, I am looking forward to that. That I remember what happens there, and that's tremendous. Yeah, the Sid Shawn Michaels thing that goes into Survivor Series is pretty cool.
Okay. Robert, final thoughts from you? This is our last storyline for the day.
It was just okay. I was never really a big fan of either one of them, to be honest, but, it was an okay match.
Yeah, my points mainly came for the little Cornette spot, because I'm a big Cornette fan, and I thought his spot looked kind of cool, so there you go. All right, I think that'll conclude our review of, that is the end of our review of In Your House Mind Games, October 20th, 1996. So, Vlad, you gave an overall comment on our review sheet. You said that this, what is the quote? Let's see, I think I have it here. Let's be real. This was a one-match card. The other stuff was filler. Okay. So, still then, your overall thoughts on the show, did that one match carry the show enough for it to be a good show, in your opinion?
Yeah, I would say it was a pretty solid show because of that, specifically because of the main event. And it was only a 2-hour show, so it helped that it wasn't like a full 3-hour thing. So yeah, I mean, it was a solid, it was a good show, I guess I'd say.
All right, thumbs up.
I think I'd give it like I think I'd give it a half a thumb up. Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
Oh my god, I give it a thumbs up, man. I thought it was a good show, and I think I disagree with you. The rest of the show was not filler, but maybe it's because I was watching all these other shows like in between Raw and actually, dude, that whole weekend there was 4 shows that happened. There was Livewire on Saturday, Superstars Sunday morning, Free For All, and then the show itself. There was a lot of stuff happening that was for these undercard matches, you know, that they were building up, you know. So, Robert, are you thinking the same as Vlad? Is this a one-card match?
It was just okay. Well, I don't know about one match card, but I do agree with a half thumbs up.
Half thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm the only one who's giving this a full thumbs up. Cool. All right, so that'll conclude our review of In Your House